Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is May 13th. Happy Friday the 13th to everyone out there. I just landed back here in Seattle this morning from Minneapolis, chasing storms out there the last couple of days. It was a fun trip. Got some good pictures, especially yesterday, some nice shelf cloud action. Saw three on the weaker side tornadoes, but a couple of them were nice and photogenic. I got some video I'm going to release later of another one. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at the Pacific Northwest weather here, and we're going to remain below normal for the extended future here. And we're going to take a look at these systems one at a time as they come rolling through here. We'll take a look to see when we can expect a change to this weather pattern, and we'll take a look at average temperatures and what we can expect coming up here, and just how much below average are we for this time of year. Everybody might be forgetting here that we're supposed to be up here into the mid and upper 60s across most of the Pacific Northwest. So take a look at the visible satellite imagery here. You can see we've got the next system already bringing high clouds into the Pacific Northwest here. And you can see some mountain wave activity going on over the Cascades here. This is the big storm that spawned that severe weather across much of Nebraska, South Dakota, and Minnesota yesterday. Take a look at the rest of the country briefly as well, but this is what I got yesterday. This nice big shelf cloud was packing, and there were some reports over 100-mile-per-hour straight line winds in there. And there were several smaller tornadoes embedded in here too that probably were maybe even a little bit stronger than that. And you can see this tornado here. You can see the birds taking off in front of the shelf cloud here. The picture really doesn't do it justice to just how severe the winds are behind a system like this. But you can see this one spinning up here. We had strong easterlies causing that surface relative velocity to cause these little spin-ups in the front of the line there. And we saw three of these tornadoes yesterday. So checking around the rest of the country, it's pretty quiet generally. There is a high wind warnings and watches there for portions of the Dakotas, wind advisory, some fire danger for Colorado, but generally pretty quiet across most of the country here. And this is the Spokane Tornadoes. It looks like both of them there got EF0 ratings, peak winds at 80 miles per hour and 70. Once you get over 85, you get EF1 ratings. And this is based on the damage. The wind speed is based on the damage that these tornadoes, what they cause. So basically, if you have a tornado in an open field and it's got 300 mile per hour winds, you're still going to get an EF0 rating because it didn't damage anything. So the system isn't perfect, but that's what we use there. And yeah, so two tornadoes. That was Friday, May 6th there near Spokane. And they're highlighting their cold temperatures again next week. They might have a warm day or two for mainly eastern Washington before that, but we'll take a look at that here in a moment. Also, this weekend, check this out, total lunar eclipse. So get out and enjoy that. Check your local areas for exact times and whatnot. And if you want better viewing, you might want to go to Eastern Washington, but we'll check this out for Western Washington too. And we'll take a look at this in more detail tomorrow. So checking out SeaTac, look at this yesterday. I mean, I leave and nothing really changes. In fact, it even got worse. Normal high for May 12th is 66 degrees. Yesterday we got 51. That's 15 degrees below average. 30 degrees below the record high, which is actually very low compared to the surrounding days here. You see the record high for today, Friday the 13th, 85 degrees there. But we're going to be well below that and still below average overall. And you can see this green line here again is what we consider average temperatures. And you can see we've been going on, we've been over a week now, well below average temperatures here with that one day that just barely got above average. So here's Portland here first. Check this out. We're well below average. This is going on across the Pacific Northwest. Seattle's not an exception to this rule at all. You can see that Portland starts to average 69 degrees for a high on May 12th. And what did we get here? 56 degrees. So, they're 13 degrees below average in Portland. And you can see by the end of May, Portland is at 72 degrees, average high for May 31st. This is for Spokane. This is the point of the year where Eastern Washington and Oregon start to catch up to Western Washington, and Spokane will surpass SeaTac. Still a little bit behind Portland, though, but they're going to be starting to warm up even more in June. That's average temperature-wise anyway. And you can see Spokane, no exception, what Portland and Seattle have been seeing, well below average here. Now, taking a look at the upper level heights, this is at 18,000 feet here. You can see the system that moved through yesterday brought some thunderstorms to the area. System clips us Saturday, and then we have another one coming in on through later Sunday as the Gulf of Alaska troughing continues to roll through the area here. And you can see this kind of elongated area here that's kind of marked by those clouds that I showed you on the visible satellite imagery earlier. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we can expect precipitation-wise. This is going on into tonight. You can already see the precipitation approaching the coastline here. Some moderate rain for the Oregon coast. Willamette Valley is going to extend up towards Seattle, maybe just Tacoma south. Some snow for the Washington Cascades here as we go on in through Saturday morning. And we're still getting onshore flow. We're going to have residual showers on through the day Saturday as we have another system approach the coastline on Sunday. And you can see this start to spread precipitation over Vancouver Island, southern BC, Puget Sound, moderate rain at times as we go through the day Sunday. So boy, we are just locked in here. This is one of the most extreme La Nina springs I've ever witnessed in my life, and I've lived here all my life here in the Pacific Northwest as we maintain this onshore flow well on into next week here, and below average temperatures will be the rule as well. As you can see, more systems developing out here as we just continue this precip on into the future. So look at this 2-meter temperature anomaly. I mean, we're just well below average temperatures across the region here. And Oregon warms up a little bit during the morning Saturday, but that's just really in the front of this next system. And then it cools back off as that passes through here. You can see the above average warmth down there for California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, but Pacific Northwest generally below average all the way through this weekend. And on into early next week, we remain kind of below average. As you can see this Monday, look at this. Some of these mountainous areas, 20 degrees below average temperatures. Seattle, less than that, but still pretty chilly for this time of year, and all the way in through mid next week. Now here's the wind coming up with this next system. You can see it's going to bring some breezy winds to the Oregon coast. You see the low pressure moving up here towards Vancouver Island. It weakens as it moves towards the shoreline, though, and you can see some breezy winds. I'll just call them breezy. This is really nothing out of the ordinary for the Washington and Oregon coast at all. Breezy conditions for the Sound there maybe tomorrow night. And this, actually, let's back up here a second. Let's just go right back one, and we'll do the GFS here and see what the GFS calls for our extended forecast too. This is this morning's run, 12Z. Here comes the system rolling through Saturday morning, clips us there, and then you can see the system kind of gets absorbed by the Gulf of Alaska low as it moves by, but it's going to bring precipitation on through Sunday into Monday as the Gulf of Alaska low just continues to churn there and it's just relentless. And look at this low pressure, this upper level trough that the GFS just opens up across Pacific Northwest later on in through next week. This would be pretty chilly, and there'd be some thunderstorm chance with this. Some mountain snows would continue. Very chilly conditions would happen here. Then we build a bit of ridging, but again, I mean, we've seen this before where it shows ridging in the extended, and it just has not happened yet, not for any length of time anyway. And this is kind of a transient ridge even at that as another trough develops over the Pacific Ocean here. So here's the European. Let's check the next few days as far as lightning potential. You can see mostly eastern BC, Montana, up into Canada there. Not a big deal for Washington, Oregon. As we go through Saturday, you'll notice that threat get introduced to portions of southeast Washington, northeast Oregon there as we go through Saturday, but not too big a deal here. Go through Sunday, and you can see a little bit of lightning come through eastern Oregon here, and maybe a little bit through the Puget Sound, even southwest Washington. We'll have to see how that goes. We'll check this out a little bit more detail tomorrow to see what kind of cold air we're going to get in here, but that's not a bad signal for the Puget Sound there as we go through the day Sunday. And going on in through Monday here, you can see mostly Idaho, Montana, a little bit up into BC, maybe the higher terrain there, maybe along the coastlines up towards the Queen Charlottes as well. But anyway, let's check out the snowfall that's coming for the next few days here. This is total snowfall, Kuchera ratio. You can see Mount Rainier getting a good shot here, but generally light amounts, but we're still going to be so well below average that we're not going to get a lot of snowmelt going on here, and any snow that we do get is just going to add to the total, which is very good for our river runoff and our summer conditions. Wildfire season. This is all really good news because I don't ever recall meeting a person that liked the fires and the smoke that arrives during the summertime during our dry years, and then we end up spending days at a time kind of in the hazy conditions that really blots out our sunshine and kind of makes it seem like winter but warmer and smokier. This is a SeaTac here. This is the European. This is looking at the ensemble run here. And as we look into this weekend, we're still below average. Even these 60s, they don't look too bad for tomorrow. But this is below average. And you can see this next trough next week, and it's pretty chilly here as we're just into the mid-50s again. Maybe we warm up a little bit some point at the end of next week. But we'll take that as it comes. You can see Vancouver, British Columbia here. Same thing as we go through midweek. Very chilly conditions, well below average. This is for Spokane. Maybe a nice day on Sunday before this next system reaches them. And then a very chilly upper level low moves across the region as we go on in through later next week. Checking out those temperatures here, pretty good agreement here between the control and the mean. So we have pretty good confidence in these temperatures. This would be in the beginning of that system here. So this system on Sunday would not have reached eastern Washington by this point yet. It would just be entering western Washington, western Oregon, and that's why they'd have a pretty decent day there on Sunday. This is Seattle Tacoma International Airport. Pretty good model agreement here for the going on in through midweek here. As you can see, maybe the warmest day looks like it'll be Saturday, but it's not going to be an exceptionally nice day at all. And you can see well below average temperatures. We're supposed to be in the mid 60s at this point. The one good thing that's coming out of this, check out this extreme drought. Eastern Washington was pretty locked into some extreme and exceptional drought later last summer, and you can see this is rapidly shrinking across the region. Even that exceptional drought on the eastern slopes of the Cascades is starting to get smaller too for Oregon. You can see the Cascades of Washington, North Oregon are no longer in drought conditions. Maybe just the southern portion of Willamette Valley, but all western Washington is not included in that. This is kind of helping out for Montana and Idaho as well, as we're really biting into that extreme drought conditions across the region. So there's some good news there. Avalanche Danger should not be a problem coming up here. Just showing you guys this one or two more times here before I abandon this product until we get into next fall, because I would show this sporadically, and there'd be pretty good avalanche danger as we build up the snowpack, but we're doing pretty good right now. So as always, just take caution when you go out into the backcountry there. But if you guys take a look here, we're going to remain active across the Pacific here. So increasing clouds, system moving through tomorrow and Sunday. And we'll watch that as we come in. Might get a decent day for eastern portions of the state as we go through the day Sunday. And then another big trough is going to open up over the Pacific Northwest as we go into next week. So we'll take a look at that one day at a time too. We'll go over some more details on that and see what kind of weather that would bring. See if we can get some good model agreement between the GFS and the European here as we go on and through next week. But yeah, so second winter continues. We're well into one of our coolest Mays. I'll have to research this and see just how cold we are as far as some of our record cold Mays, because this has got to be right near the top of our coldest start to the month of May for Seattle and much of the Pacific Northwest here. So tomorrow we'll take a look at these systems. You guys click like and subscribe. It's good to be back home, and when I go out for a little longer chases here coming up here later on into May, I'm going to bring my laptop with me, and I'm just going to do I'll do these briefings in the hotel lobby for the Pacific Northwest so I can continue my up-to-date tracking of the weather across the region here. So click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.